Hello. I wanted to do a short video about times when you might have a second tank because I had a battle in Guild War today. We actually had kind of a rough Guild War today. Like we had someone leave the guild over the weekend. Like who was he was the guy who was setting all my target stuff. So the target setting was a bit messy today. So we had a lot of misses in Guild War. But there was one target in the Citadel that had multiple misses on it. But I was able to clean it up. Right, this one had multiple misses. But I was able to clean it up here, and I just used a different line. Like I said, there was only 4 heroes left, but Dante was pretty much full charge. And what I did, I used 2 tanks to bring in a second tank. My Astaroth is pretty underdeveloped. But the key to beating Dante is usually Lars works pretty good, but you have to keep him in the 5th spot. So you'd never want to use Martha here. Martha is pretty bad. A lot of people's instinct is to use Martha against a strong physical attacker, something like Dante. That's a mistake here. Other thing you want to do is bring in Kane is your pet, because see 145 seconds here. This is when pets do their first abilities, but Kane has a passive mitigation bonus. He gives dodge to the entire team, so this can actually help you Mize versus Dante, because that dodge is going to be in effect before and actually help you versus Dante faster than any other pet can. Like his actual attacks won't do a whole lot since Dante will dodge him, but like I said, Dante got to ult 2 or 3 times before Kane Kane or any of the pets got to do anything. Like if you brought Oliver Axel, Dante would have been able to ult multiple times before the pet did anything. So at least with Kane, you have invisibility mastery that is giving your team a bit of a mitigation bonus and a chance to dodge his ults. But you see, Aurora did a lot of damage. Like Astaroth, he has no DPS potential whatsoever. He's one of the worst DPSs in the game. 365, he is just there to kind of give me insurance. You have Axel on Celeste. The key here is you keep Lars alive in the 5th spot. So Dante's ult hits the first 4 heroes, does not hit the hero on the 5th spot. So you put Lars in the very back. That way Dante doesn't hit him. Then you put Axel on Celeste. This means she can't be one-shot by Dante. And when she takes a hit from Dante, she'll usually go to light mode, which will put on a purifying sphere usually on herself. She took a hit, or whoever got the lowest life. Krista's a uber tank by herself, so she is obviously fine from Dante's ult, and of course Aurora's tanky enough to take a hit from Dante, so they'll all survive. And then then I have Astaroth, who's probably the most vulnerable to Dante, because he's probably the squishiest hero in this lineup just because of how weak my Astaroth is. But he has because there's no Celeste or Morgan in this defending team, he does have that passive res. I do talk crap about Astaroth a lot because he's not a great main tank. Kind of like Corvus, you can use him as a secondary tank. I guess I could show you the healing as well. But Celeste did some healing, whatever. They didn't have a proper healer either. Nebula is your main healer, kind of not great. But Astaroth, like I said, my Astaroth is pretty underdeveloped. See, the same thing as Corvus, he kind of does better as a secondary tank. This last word ability is good if it doesn't get countered. Celeste and Morgan both hard counter that pretty much. This stops it from happening. But this also, like I said, this is mostly you just got to keep Celeste and Lars alive against that, and you want the dodge buffs to really hose Lars. So you really got to use Aurora versus the Dante team there. But because I didn't need Sebastian, because there was nothing there forcing me to use Sebastian, I had a 5th spot open. So this allowed me to use the second tank. Corvus is another one, but unlike Astaroth, he's really squishy. He has great DPS potential though. But again, my Corvus, my Corvus is stronger than my Astaroth, but both of them, like I said, I guess I have his armor skin up. But stat-wise, he's 550 health. That's not bad, but my Corvus is quite a bit stronger than my Astaroth here. Maybe not quite a bit stronger. Have that health, have that armor skin on Astaroth. But yeah, that's just kind of my best choice there. And and that's just generally what you need to do. Especially if you have a defending team where you don't need to bring in, like I said, there's nothing that's forced. There's no status facts. Arachne was already dead, so I didn't need to bring in Sebastian. If Arachne is still alive, this changes everything, because then you need to bring in Sebastian to kind of protect you against the stuns. But with Arachne off the table, there's nothing causing status effects, so I don't need to bring in Sebastian. This opens up a 5th spot to use for any hero I want. And like I said, Martha's not a choice because of pushing them forward. And you don't want to use squishy heroes like Maya here. So I'm a second tank. This just ensures if the unthinkable happens and Celeste or Lars dies early, I do got res there. And that's generally like the kind of situation I think Astaroth's good is like as a second tank to like to Aurora or maybe Cleaver. Same thing with like Corvus. They're more of like secondary tanks. I don't think they're very good main tanks. Astaroth and Corvus, I think Corvus has potential. I think Corvus has potential. Astaroth, I just don't think he's a great main tank because he doesn't offer any DPS or any ability to counter Arthur, but he does have some potential is a second tank in certain lines. But again, I don't have a whole lot of investment in him, but I was able to get a win on a team that my guildmate struggled with. There was like 3 misses on that team that day, so good to get that win, get the Citadel down. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video fun and informative. Thank you for watching.